Many of you enjoyed his work in The Good Wife. And, of course, the man played Luke Cage in Luke Cage back in the day. But now we're in season 3 of the hit show on Paramount Plus. Evil's Mike Colter. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too, Rich.
How you been?
I'm great, man.
Just trying to find out if something supernatural's going on, or something evil's going on, or something next level's going on.
There's always something next level going. David, my alter ego, I think he's really convinced that there are some things that science can't explain, and there's something outside of this world that is in the physical, metaphysical, something that we just can't put our finger on. But it's funny. I was in a haunted house, a haunted hotel in Texas this weekend. It's not the first time I've been in one.
Okay. This legitimately happened, or you're already coming up with ideas for another?
No, legitimately
episode?
happened. I've traveled and sometimes, and everyone's like, this is a haunted hotel, and they told me the story, and I actually believe that there's something to it. There's a lot of death in that hotel. Supposedly, yes. This hotel has a lot of history to it, and it's in Austin, Texas, and I'm sure people from the locals there can attest to this. Supposedly, the person who built the hotel, he committed suicide in this hotel. Not only that, the politicians there used to use the hotel and go underneath it because they had these little pathways, and they would use the hotel. But on the other side, a few doors down, there was a brothel, and those brothels that they used, sometimes they would actually they would kill the women, and so there's a lot of spirits walking around in that hotel. Pretty deep, and I was pretty disturbed by it. Yeah. And you can hear the noise because this little girl supposedly dropped down, fell on the stairs.
Come on,
I'm not kidding you. They told me this.
How do you get to any rest in a hotel?
Well, I didn't stay in that hotel. I did not stay. I did not stay in that hotel. This is
you checked out?
Oh, I never checked in. This was just where the special was. I would never have stayed in that hotel. They saw the Driscoll Hotel. Look it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you do believe in the supernatural?
I don't tempt it. Someone says something, I'm not going to go, oh, that's baloney. I'm going to go lay in this hotel. I'm going to sleep my door open, and I'm going to just, no.
Order room service?
Yeah, I'm going to order room service, and I'm going to keep my door unlocked. I'm not doing that.
Order the deviled eggs?
Yeah.
Off the menu? Got it.
Not doing that.
So portraying this now ordained priest in season 3, David Acosta, anything that you've experienced over the first 2 seasons now, having obviously shot season 3, hasn't changed your mind on this sort of thing?
No, I mean, listen, again, these things that we come in contact with,
yes,
it is disturbing. I mean, when someone tells you a story like this, I was also in Winnipeg. This is years ago before I started the show. Same thing, another hotel, haunted, same kind of stories. I do feel like if someone dies in a traumatic way, sometimes if you go to and buy a house, they have people that tell you this is what happened in the house before you bought it, and they'll disclose this because they should. That might change me in my mind. I may not buy the house if something crazy happened there. There's a triple homicide. I'm probably not going to buy the house.
What if someone from Fleetwood Mac owned your house before?
See, that would be interesting. I think I would do the Fleetwood Mac house. I think I could do that.
Yeah. I bring that up because that's what I was told. The house that I bought, somebody from Fleetwood Mac.
They wouldn't tell you who.
Well, they told me who.
Okay. You don't want to disclose.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just I don't want to give the exact GPS coordinates.
I was going to say Star Guide would have it on there. So don't say
what I mean? But
don't say that.
There has been some love and fun in the house. No question about it. Season 3 of Evil premieres on Paramount Plus again Sunday, June 12th. Mike Colter here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you are a Laker fan, but have also an affinity for a team that is actually playing still.
Yes.
In the NBA.
Yes.
Playing for the trophy.
Yeah.
And again, Game 3 is coming up tonight in Boston. You're a Warriors fan as well, correct?
Yeah.
So how do we get on the Warriors track here, Mike Colter?
I'm a basketball purist, and I saw a long time ago. Because I'm a Laker fan. I used to watch Kobe play, and I watched the competitive nature in which they would play the Lakers, even when Kobe was still in his prime. I watched Steph, and I watched the Splash Brothers, right?
Yes.
And I could see it, and I think even Kobe saw it. The competitive nature of those two guards. I just watched them grow, and I love the fact that they were drafted, and that it wasn't some situation where they went and got
no super team.
No super team.
Right.
I love that. I love the idea that they just grew their own players and created their own culture over there, and they're such a good team because they seem to be able to rebuild quicker than anyone else and put in pieces that no one thought would fit. And I do think the culture is really good there, so I love watching them play.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I know your show and Evil. This is not anything to talk about Evil because he's the exact opposite of that. But there is something supernatural when Steph Curry shoots the ball.
Well, you know, it is something supernatural, but also there is something that, I mean, you talk about Evil. Steph I think he has an alter ego. I think he's a much tougher person than his exterior shows.
Well, you have to be.
You have to be.
Of course.
He just seems to always be even keel, but he also seems to have a part of him that he's really angry. He just suppresses it. You know?
Yeah. He looks approachable because he is approachable.
Yes.
Looks like a sweetheart because he is a sweetheart. But when it comes time to make sure you do not win, he is the cold-blooded
babyface assassin.
Yeah, is what he is.
Yeah.
And especially since a couple times this year, I don't know if he's been doing it prior to years, but when he has the shot and they win, basically to put the other team to sleep.
He does. He puts
his like night.
I love that.
That has a certain sort of nastiness.
Oh, it's cold.
Exactly.
It is.
But Draymond Green is the true nasty player on that team.
He does poke the bear on the other team. He gets into it. I get a little nervous because, obviously a few years ago he got suspended during the finals against LeBron, and I thought that was really unfortunate. I thought it really changed the direction of the series. Yeah. I really do. I really think it made a difference. And the other night he got caught, and it was like people were wondering, was he going to get another technical?
Laying his feet on top of Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, pulling, like maybe trying to get up by his grabbing his shorts or whatever. And I like he's chippy, but sometimes I wonder if it's going to cost them because it's a very delicate thing that you're dealing with because the refs have personalities too, and some of them may or may not like him. Based on that, and so I'm always worried that they're going to change the game.
Well, you got a Boston guy over there that thought that he should have been ejected.
Oh yeah, of course he did.
Today.
Yeah, of course.
He's biased.
Well, he kicked him like 3 times.
He didn't kick him. He laid his feet on him.
Like if a grown man rested his feet on you, how would you react?
Okay, here's the thing. I'm gonna
and then tried to pull your pants down.
I'm contrarian. I'm gonna go back 30 years ago. I mean, Lambier and Parrish. Listen, this is chippy. A little pull, little shorts pull. We're gonna suspend him because of that.
This is the game we play now.
No, we gotta be a little. Come on, this is the
game we
playoffs.
play now.
Larry Bird once threw the ball at Bill Lambier. Now Lambier deserved to have the ball thrown at him because Lambier took him down.
I mean, Rambis clotheslined a guy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a different game though now.
Yeah, and they kept playing. They just kept playing. So I mean, within context, I think that's not a suspendable, action.
That's
yes,
Jaylen Brown.
But it was the second act of what he had already done. I mean, come on, let's just adhere
You
by the
want to win
rules.
it you want to win it? Do you want to win it that way? I'm going to ask you.
To win.
Oh, so he's one of those. You want to win it without Draymond.
I want to win. Well, then you think the Cavs title has an asterisk then, right?
Well, injuries are injuries, but there's ejections. No, not ejections.
Well, and plus Jaylen Brown is a local kid, pretty much. He went to Cal.
Yeah.
He went to Cal.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing his behavior in any way, shape, or form. I'm actually trying to back your play here that Jaylen Brown doesn't deserve that sort of thing. But Draymond Green is definitely one of those edgy players that you never know if he's going to be doing the wrong thing or not.
Yeah.
But it's just what an incredible run. It's funny how you say that you liked how they were their own team, growing their own team. And then they did get Durant coming in their direction. And so that's why I think this one is just...
It's special.
Well, it has the setup, Mike Colter, of them to go back to the pre-Durant days and say the guys who did it before Durant are still so good despite advancing ages and despite injuries like Klay Thompson making him not the 100% splash brother that he was before.
Yeah.
That they could still win it now like that. That would be sort of the cherry on top.
It would be special, and it's ironic because they, I wish Durant didn't leave, but it is a culture that seems to be able to thrive with, and put team above everything else.
Mike Colter here on the Rich Eisen Show again. Paramount Plus is Evil. We can get the season 3 premiere Sunday, June 12th, and the new episodes drop weekly Sundays on Paramount Plus. Right here, a couple more minutes left with him here in studio. So, are you from L.A.? Is that why you're a Laker fan, or what? Where are you from originally?
South Carolina, which we had no basketball team. Grew up without a professional basketball team, without a professional football team. When I watched back then, and so you just the Lakers during the '80s when I grew up, Lakers and Celtics. That was the game. That was the thing. That was every year. It wasn't a question of who was going to be there, just who was going to win out of those two teams.
Did you see Winning Time? Did you check that out?
I have yet to check it out. It's on my list. I hear it's great.
It is so much fun.
Oh, man.
I don't know if it's fun for the people being portrayed
I don't think it is.
in it, as they have said. But if you're talking about you growing up in South Carolina, not having a team, but flipping on the TV and watching the Lakers and the Celtics go out in the 80s, this is so directly up your alley.
Okay.
1,000%. And it is fun. I'm
going to check it out.
It is well done in a way. So why did you choose Lakers over Celtics?
It just was, I guess, Magic, it was exciting. Magic was exciting,
Yes.
and I can understand, people identifying with Larry Bird and those guys, they had a different, culture in Boston, sort of a more blue collar, more just grind it out, not flashy. But, Magic had that smile, he had that charm, he had that charisma, and he just did things on the court that made you just jump up because it was just such a, Magic, what a name. To have to live up to that name.
Yeah.
Kareem and Worthy and AC Green and Byron Scott. They just had a great team, and it was fun to watch. And I also, as a kid, wanted to be an actor. So, watching what was the team of Hollywood. It was like, you see all those stars. Jack Nicholson was sitting on sidelines for decades, and it just makes you think, oh yeah, one day this is going to be fun.
You got to get on the floor.
Yeah, the floor.
So you didn't want to be on the floor
basketball
wise. You wanted to be on the floor actor.
Yes.
wise.
And ironically enough, I have yet to do it. I've always been going to the Knicks games because I'm always filming in New York.
Yes.
So I have yet to actually do the floor thing with the LA Lakers. So it's on the list. I got to get around.
This has to be done.
I have to.
Again, you've got to check out this show, Winning Time. It is exactly about the beginning of it and how Jerry Buss wanted to make this a Showtime experience. That he realized that this was a Los Angeles town, and you got to plug in it. And there you are as a kid in South Carolina, thinking the same damn thing.
Yeah,
it is pretty cool.
He plugged those worlds in.
Absolutely,
yeah.
No doubt about that. So, okay, so you never had any thoughts about playing or anything like that, or did you try?
Here's a good thing and a bad thing. I grew up in the country, small town.
Yeah.
And I had a basketball goal.
Yes.
And it basically was in a dirt field. I kid you not. You couldn't dribble a basketball off of dirt. This is where I grew up. So I had next to my house I had this basketball goal, but I couldn't get any dribble repetitions in because it was off dirt. So basically, I was pretty good at shooting sometimes, but I never could understand how to dribble because I could only dribble when I went to school, and my mother never let me hang out and play in the gym and go on the blacktops and stuff. She was very, I wasn't say she's strict, but she wasn't one to sort of let me go about in town and do whatever I wanted to do. So I sort of realized that I wasn't going to be practicing any basketball moves. So I kind of just ended up staying inside and watching HBO, dreaming about going to Hollywood.
So then, who was your idol then growing up?
I had a lot of idols. When I was a kid, watch Walter Payton because at the time I was a football fan. Bears was my team.
But acting.
Oh well, Denzel Washington. He was primarily the main guy that I could look to on back then. But I was an aficionado for film. I watched De Niro and Pacino all the time. I just watched all the classics. Gene Hackman. I just was Dustin Hoffman. It just all those old films in the 70s is what I used to grow up watching.
Do you get a lot of Luke Cage when you're walking around?
Back then,
now.
never heard. Oh yeah, you mean now?
Yeah,
of course. I was happy the mask thing came and the mask man did because for a person who gets recognized, you can put a mask on and just kind of like take the day off.
Your anonymity?
Yeah, to walk
right.
Almost complete anonymity. Sometimes they recognize you, but for the most part, yeah.
But people coming up and talking about Luke Cage, I'm sure has to be some bit of excitement in some certain way, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Some days. It's like I think if someone were talking to you about sports when you're not working, you try to talk sports all the time anyway, but sometimes you probably want to talk about something else. And I think if you always were asked about the same thing over and over, you probably get like, okay, it's like get a little tired.
No, actually, I don't mind it.
How about this? Same game.
Same game. Interesting.
Same game.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
So,
not.
So
not
Luke
all
Cage
sports.
is the same game. Okay, the same game. Yeah, if they came up with the same game.
Yeah, because we can talk. Because there's games you could talk about, but how many times we talk about the
We could talk about the Good Wife game. We could talk about that.
That's true.
There's so many. You've got a lot of games.
Oh, yeah, I love talking about acting and the career and all
Sure.
stuff like that. But yeah, we talk about the same game. I'm like, okay, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no Luke Cage possibility of rebooting, going back, doing that again, or what?
Is, I guess. I just don't know how likely it is, and I don't have anything tangible to offer. People always ask me, is it possible? I'm like, yeah, anything's possible. And they live on rumors, and I go, I mean, you know as much as I know. People read those articles.
Yeah.
That's the exact same amount of information that I have.
But you'd be open to the concept.
Sure, I'd be open to it. Yeah. I mean, I had a great time, and I've had a nice break from that much action in terms of like physical action, in terms of filming a superhero show. So I'd be up for it again. When I left, I was pretty tired and physically. Like, it's like you play a sport. You need a little off season.
Sure.
So it was fun to take a break.
Yeah. Now you're just doing Supernatural.
Supernatural.
So
yeah.
Now you're playing a priest. So you got that working for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations again on Evil. Paramount Plus is Evil. Once again, you can catch season 3 premiering this very Sunday, and then every other Sunday on Paramount Plus, new episodes will drop. Great to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
Anytime.
Thank
Please.
you, man.
Mike Colter right here, at Real Mike Colter on Twitter, same on Instagram, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.